Hello and welcome back to this channel. Today's gonna be a super fun video and quite long because we have a lot to do in today's video. Now, the number one thing to do today is check the schedule. There's a lot of stuff that we still have to do day by day, so I'll be doing that in a second. Number two, I also need to clean up a lot of the strawberry plants and do a little bit of some talking there. And I also need to just kind of clean up a lot of the room. Now, the beginning of today's video is really gonna feel really close to kind of like an informational plant tour, and that's because there's a lot to talk about. So before we do go and start today's very busy and full video, please subscribe, hit the notification on all so you're not missing every video, and please like this video. Let's go start today's video. Now, first things first, starting off with the fans, they push a lot of air. I mean, you can maybe even hear that. Very, very efficient. Now, number one, this was for just gnats, all of that fun stuff. It does not work. It maybe worked for the first day and then it just doesn't do anything else. So keep that in mind. If you're going to just put $30 to get one of these, just buy one of those wall sticker things. They are a little bit expensive and you will have to kind of refill it over time, but they work way more efficient. Number two, we're growing a lot of stuff. So we have basil, strawberries, and two things of rosemary. The rosemary is doing quite well and it's absolutely incredible. Now, looking throughout the room, there's so many incredible stuff. Starting over here. Now, I don't really know why the cilantro is doing this, but that's going to be kind of rotting. Now, I've really been able to do a lot of testing there, figure out why, and figure out just everything that's going on. And luckily, after that, we have a lot more research behind all of that. But walking down this aisle, I really need to take out all of this because this is just last week's harvest. But we have a ton of basil. Thing is, it's really, really overgrown. And honestly, it's not the best. So what I really need to do is I'm going to let it grow for a few more days because right now it's kind of out of control. I will figure out what to do with it. And then most likely I'm just going to replace these plants with the other basil. And I'm thinking I'm going to wait 2 weeks and then I'm going to start another batch of germinating more basil. And we'll just have to see how all of that goes. Now I really need to think about that honestly, because it takes about 2 weeks for the basil to actually germinate before it can go on the shelves. And it takes, so let's think about that. It takes about 5 days in the germination room. So by the time it reaches over here, ideally, the thing is, I wonder if I should start, once this is done germinating every 2 weeks, I should just replace it with another thing of germination. Because the thing is, one tray can do 2 rows. So if I have this row growing and maybe it's like this full, then we had the most recent one. Obviously there's nothing right here, but if we did have the most recent one, it would be right here. Then same thing, these would be able to be harvested and then we would take them out because they're overgrown and then they'd just go like that. The thing is, these were growing in the old design, which really kind of burnt up the leaves. So they do have a little bit of some damage, but they still are really good and tasty. But the thing is, what the plan is I will harvest it twice because there's no point in harvesting it once, throwing out the plant, and then starting over. It just doesn't make sense. But walking throughout the rest of the room, there's a lot of stuff happening, and I've done crazy amounts of testing with the strawberries. And I think I figured out everything is good in the room. We've done immense amounts of testing in here. But the last thing I haven't fully checked, and I've had a lot of problems with, is pH levels. Now, the pH level in all of this soil is about 7.0. That is not good for strawberries. Where we want that area to be at is 5.5, pretty acidic. Somewhere in between that number and 6.5. So it is definitely much higher than we want that to be. We want the soil to be a lot more acidic. So what I'm doing is I'm buying a stronger mix. And then when I'm getting all the water formulas ready and all of that fun stuff, I'll just really mix stuff around and try and just do a lot better. I just kind of feel like when I did do the pH down, it didn't work. So maybe I just have to have it a lot stronger, or maybe just something happened in that area that I can't really explain. But for all we know, maybe that was just kind of pH down I bought. This time I did buy different pH down, so hopefully maybe that will change some stuff. And I do believe this is a little bit stronger than the other ones, and I bought a lot more liquid too. So that's exciting. Aquaponics update, construction's a lot slower than I thought it would be. I was kind of hoping it would be like growing by now and growing for the last like 2 weeks. The platforms are still being made. They are really, really time consuming to make, and we're just kind of experimenting with them right now because the first batch we did, we realized they were a little bit too high, so we're kind of changing up how we're going to be designing them. So that will take a lot more time. Hopefully I can start adding those on maybe the next week. But as always, there's a lot of stuff happening. Number one, I'm really hoping to have the oregano out very, very soon. So that'll be awesome. The rosemary takes a very long time to grow. So I don't expect having any rosemary ready to be sold till maybe June. Walking into this room, again, I also need to put a lot of time in here towards germinating stuff. So we have cilantro right here, 2 different types of microgreens. We got sunflower and peas. Right here, I'm growing a ton of oregano. Now, this doesn't actually look like oregano, so I'll have to take those out. But, I mean, for the most part, everything in here is looking absolutely incredible. Super, super exciting stuff. But, I mean, over time, we'll really get to watch these grow, really start to thrive. And, I mean, for the most part, everything will look hopefully really good. I really do hope it grows well. We are having a little bit of some interesting stuff growing. Like, well, I was showing there a second ago, I just took them out, but, I mean, that looked like cilantro. I guess the robot vacuum got stuck, but lots of stuff to do. So that is definitely on the list. I do need to take this out too. Just a massive list today of trying to get as much stuff to do done as possible. I know in the intro I said I really need to put a lot more time towards strawberries, but I'd really like to just let them grow a lot more, try and get the nutrients and pH down in before I do start kind of messing with the plants, because right now they're just kind of struggling a little bit. I also bought 75 more strawberry plants, so the ones that just didn't make it throughout here, like we're having a few growing really odd, and that's going to be a little bit on my side, a little bit of an oops, because the pH is too strong, or that the pH is way too high. It needs to be a lot more acidic. So we're having some growing interesting issues. So that's not the best, but throughout the room there's definitely a lot of stuff. You can start to see there's a lot of flowers. Now these are the baby plants in the room, so I definitely have to take these off. But I mean, for the most part, progress in the room is at an all-time high. So much stuff is going on, so much progress. Everywhere you look, there's more and more progress every single time, which is absolutely awesome. But I mean, as always, I definitely need to put a lot more time towards that. You can see some of the plants over here are kind of dying out. I don't really know why, but I mean, there's a lot of, like, you can see some of the leaves are kind of drying up a little bit. That doesn't make sense. But I mean, I know the soil is definitely a little bit more on the dry side, but like here, this soil is just soaked. So that is not good. And I think that's odd with how the fan is on this, especially this also too. That is not good. It's not good at all, definitely. But I mean, at the end of the day, we'll just have to see how stuff does. I believe today is a watering day too, so I guess that'll be on my list to do at some point in today's video. But as always, let's just go ahead and start the time lapse on trying to get as much done in here as possible. Alright, going throughout the room, lots of stuff happening. For the most part, everything has happened. All I have to do is this, but for the most part, everything is watered, everything is planted, everything in here is looking phenomenal. Let's check out all this. Floor is a little bit wet, but for the most part, everything is not planned. So sadly, this is going to be the end of the video. If you guys like these types of videos, please subscribe, hit the notification on all so you're not missing every video, and please like this video. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys when we post next. Peace.